Have you ever heard of somebody who abducts little boys?
Room below's got some horrible smells.
We don't want to go in there.
What are you doing?
Complimentary room service. There is that.
Hello, and welcome to another Dollar Store Drive-In. I'm your host, Laura.
I'm Joel.
And we're the Newly Deads. If this is your first time watching, welcome to the show. We appreciate you being here. If this is not your first time, welcome back. We also record this and upload it as a podcast, so you can listen to us on Spotify if you so choose to. And but we highly recommend, since this is a visual show, for you guys to follow us and find us, and you can do that at our website. So you can go to thenewlydeads.com and find all of the information about our show. On that show, besides the information about this, on that site. I am tired today. Bear with me. On that site, you can find information about this show, and you can find information about the other things that we do. Like Mr. Newly Dead does unboxing videos every week. He also uploads older episodes of Dollar Store Drive-In, and he calls that Dollar Store Drive-In Classics, as well as snack videos that we've recorded. So you can check all of that information out on there. And then he also does blog posts about movie reviews and whatever else he wants to write about, I guess. But
mostly movie reviews. Yeah.
And occasionally we do events. We just recently finished the Witches Market. So hopefully we're recording this ahead of time. So I'm sure it went well. There was probably 150 vendors there, along with fun things. And if you came to visit us, thank you. But yeah, that's actually next weekend for us. But yeah, you can find information about that. We do create art and other things. So sculptures and weird stuff. Yeah. Anyways, check us out. But yeah, you can find that at thenewlydeads.com. And if you've got any information you want to email us, you can always email us at contact@thenewlydeads.com. So that being said, we're here to talk about a movie. That's what this whole show's about. So this is a half-hour chat show where him and I discuss a movie that we've watched, and that movie has some criteria. So the first thing it needs to be under $5. It needs to be a horror, thriller, or sci-fi genre movie, and it needs to be a movie that neither of us have ever seen before. Yes. So this week we watched a movie called The Cursed. Beware the Beast Within. It's a fairly newish movie. There's some good reviews on the case. It says a creepy and bone-crunching horror gem from the Chicago Sun-Times, which is a reputable news source. A brutal take on a classic horror monster, says the Daily Mirror. So that's what this is. And I'm going to read the synopsis.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
You ready for that?
Sure, why not?
He likes to do some acting.
I mean, yeah.
Yes. A once peaceful, remote country village is under attack. But by who or what, no one knows.
Huh?
Villagers spread rumors of a cursed land, supernatural forces, and even demonic creatures as the disappearances and killings continue. Pathologist John McBride arrives to investigate the danger, only to discover something much deeper and more sinister than he could ever have imagined. Yep.
Rated R.
It is rated R.
I would think so after what we saw.
Pretty gory, just graphic.
There's there was all the drive-in staples, the 3 Bs.
Yeah. Not a whole lot of the boobs, but a little bit of the
There's
boobs.
some.
There's some side boob.
There's some, yeah.
Side boob.
Just like the band on Orange is the New Black.
You
which we're just about to finish. We're almost through that whole
I've seen
series.
it. I've seen it before, but yeah, this is his
My
first
first
go
run
around.
through, yeah.
Yep. All right. So since this is a movie that takes place in a time long ago, let's just do a horse-drawn carriage. Does that sound good?
How did the horse draw the carriage? Does it hold the pencil?
With his teeth
Oh, that
Yeah.
makes sense. Okay.
or in his hooves.
Oh, he's got a hoof pencil. Hoof pencil?
Like,
His
maybe he just dips his little hoof in.
little hoof. And he's like, He's got a really big piece of paper,
Yes.
some butcher block,
Yes. I was trying to think of something clever, but
We're just horsing around. so.
my brain is not working. Nay. Okay. So let's watch the trailer and we'll be right back.
We've all dreamt of a silver that's cursed this land.
And Judas asked, "What are you willing to give me if I deliver him over to you?" We will all pay for the sins made by our elders.
There's a manor house. They've sent for me regarding their son who's gone missing. It may be connected to what you've been looking for.
Did the girls see what attacked them? What's happening here? The land's been cursed.
And we're back. Hopefully you enjoyed the trailer. I'm not sure if he did anything with it because we're going to find out when I watch it with you fine folks. If you see our cameras moving a little bit weird, it's because our weird dog is licking the tripod. So we do record this in our house. We used to say that all the time because there was always dogs and stuff floating around. But we kind of moved our set around a little bit so you really can't see the dogs until
Every
they
once in a
lick
while.
the tripod.
Sometimes they pop up in the frame or jump up on a lap, but yeah, he's sleeping under the tripod right now. So if all of a sudden it like bumps, moves, or falls, that's
Sorry.
why. It's not Ghost, it's Shaggy.
It's Shaggy. All right. So now that we've watched the trailer, Mr. Newly Dead, I believe, has some notes for us.
I do.
Okay.
So whenever we watch a film, I will take notes digitally, print them out after we are done, like this, and I'll draw pictures and things like that. And then at the end of the year, Mrs. Newly Dead collects all those, puts them into a flip book. I am. And then you can go check that out, see all the behind the scenes shenanigans that go on these notes. So 2023 and 2024 are both available on the site that we mentioned previously. So if you'd like to go check those out, please go do. Some people enjoy going through those. Some people, I'm sure, just go, what is this? But Mrs. Newly Dead also has committed to taking notes this year. And so far, she is batting 1,000.
I am.
Is that right? Is that the right way to say
Batting
that?
1,000.
Yeah. She's just knocking them out of the park every week.
So are you.
So at this point,
Kind of your thing.
I'm going to show you my thing, my notes,
Okay.
and
Oh.
What?
Oh, that's the guy with the mask and the, like,
I was trying to do the thing at the beginning. It didn't
Yeah.
really come out great, but
looks like a phallic symbol.
that does. Oh, I see what you're saying. I didn't catch that until just now. Yeah, it
With
does.
eyes. And it says bite. Oh, look, nom nom nom. I drew a little thing like that too. And then 30.
Yeah, that's one of the bullets.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they talk about it in the beginning and then at the end, and I
Yeah.
just kind of was like, what else? I want to draw something else. It's really blank, but we'll get to that in a
This
minute.
mine's on the bottom here. So I did like some hand lettering of the curse.
Yep.
Which I didn't like outline. And then I said, don't mess with the gypsies. Yeah. Which is a derogatory term. So but
We'll be using that term, so we don't mean to offend, but
yeah.
not
But
quite
they
sure
said
else how
that's what they were referred
to as in the film.
Yeah. And then I wrote bite each keepers.
Yeah, so you did.
Yeah.
Yours are pointy. In the movie, I think
Just the fangs.
just the fangs are pointy.
Yeah.
So it made you kind of think maybe it's a vampiric tale, but it's not.
I didn't think it was.
I thought that's what it was going to be. It was like a
I didn't.
vampiric
The whole
thing.
time I knew it was.
The other. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
So The Cursed is from 2021, currently sitting at 6.2 out of 10 on the Internet Movie Database. This is written and directed by Sean Ellis, who is known for something called Metro Manila, which I don't know exactly what that's about. Some short films, something called The Cut. I'm going backwards because I'm saving the best one for last. Anthropoid, which I'm going to have to say that we may have to go back and revisit some of these other films. The Broken, which I think was one that seemed interesting to me. And then one of his films that I've actually seen probably back in 2000 and I want to say 2009, somewhere in there, called Cashback, which is about a guy that I believe can freeze time or travel in time. I want to say freeze time because I seem to remember there was a lot of stuff happening in a grocery store where he was like stopping time and doing some things that he shouldn't have been. But it was a unique film, and it kind of caught me off guard. And I was like, wow, that was really good. I didn't like some of the things that happened, but it was well done. And then I didn't know any of these other things that happened from Sean Ellis until we watched this, and I got thoughts. So this stars Boyd Holbrook, who is our lead dude, who was in Logan. Yep. The snickety snick snick. There we go. Now, what were we saying?
Snickety snick snick.
You know, Logan, Wolverine. He was also in Shane Black's The Predator, which is on the shelf along with Logan, which I enjoyed. The Predator. I know a lot of people really didn't care for that film, but I thought it was fun. In The Shadow of the Moon, which we watched. You remember that one with Michael C. Hall?
Yeah.
And like a werewolf movie, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And A Complete Unknown, which is the recent Bob Dylan film.
Oh, right.
Yeah. It's got a pretty good resume.
Yeah, that is good.
Then we got Kelly Riley as the lead woman in the film, although she was pretty minor. It was mostly a dude-centric film for the most part. She was the mom. She was in Eden Lake, that I have recommended on the show before as a alternate film to watch, with her and Fassbender, Michael Fassbender. Is that right? Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sherlock Holmes Part 1 and 2, the Guy Ritchie films with Robert Downey Jr. and Jude Law. Dead Bodies, which sounds like something we probably will watch at some point. And something called Peaches, which I've heard there's millions of those. This also stars Alastair Petrie, who has done a poop ton of voice work for Doctor Who. So like the Big Finish productions and the animated stuff, Alastair's done a lot of voice work for Doctor Who. He was in the 2019 Hellboy, the David Harbour one, which is on the shelf. Was in that very uplifting Star Wars film Rogue One, which I always make that joke, and probably the second best in the series, by the way, if you've never seen it. Victor Frankenstein, which was the I forgot the actor's name. You know what I'm talking about? James McAvoy. It was his
that one.
His Frankenstein's Tale. And the Wachowski's Cloud Atlas, which was a 3-hour plus mega movie with Tom Hanks. Yeah, which I've never seen, surprisingly. It's on my list. I've never
Add
seen
it to the Hanks.
Right? It's just so long, and it's
Thanksgiving.
You know. Then we've got finally Roxanne Duran, which is a fun name, who was in 17 Girls. I don't know why you need 17, but there you go. Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris.
That's funny.
Is fun. Paula, which I put that in there because they have a thing for names. They were in Augustine, another name. And then something just simply called Lovers.
Lovers.
Lava. So at this point, Mrs. New that turns to me and says, suppose.
What did you think
So now let's really
with your teeth?
with my tubes. So I right from the get go, we both agreed. I think that this started out strong. Mrs. Newly Dead made a comment really early on about the music in the film.
I liked the good, creepy, like, theatrical kind of like stuff, you know?
It was very brooding and played well with the atmosphere for the time that this was supposed to take place in.
I like a lot of tuba.
It didn't feel out of place, and it felt very ominous. Like it kept the movie moving forward.
Yes,
Even though it was very much a slow burn.
it was. Actually, I wrote that in here, so it was a bit slow moving at times.
Which I've got thoughts on that and some things I read about it after the fact. But this also had really good production design. So the costuming, the sets, the special effects work, everything about this just felt
Of the time.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I think even one of the things I wrote later on that I'll bring up here was that a lot of the atmosphere that was created in this, I feel like they used a lot of natural light, kind of like that movie that oh man, my brain really isn't working today. Stanley Kubrick did, where he used all natural lighting for the entire film. It felt like a lot of it, and I'm sure they've had, lights and things like that, but they did it in such a way that it felt like it was lit by candlelight, or there was no light at all.
Yeah,
was very well done.
like The Shining.
No, it was a period piece too, movie
okay.
too. Yeah, I can see the cover, but I can't call the name. I'm sure all of you out there right now, like, you dum-dum, it's this. The main cast of the film, minus maybe the lead and some of the kids, were turd nuggets. They were jerks. I'd say.
Oh yeah.
And you even commented on it too, like early on when some of the initial things happen that kind of carry the story forward and like end up being kind of the root cause of everything. Those guys were all just jerks. Like they were just POSs. And that led to the both finding and then burying and then finding again of the teeth, which we refer to them as teeths because they were teeths.
They were teeths.
So essentially the movie opens during wartime. Some guy gets shot, and when they're pulling out the bullets, they realize that one of them is different. He makes a comment about it's 38. What's that?
He said 8.
He said 38
8
of 8 or something.
He said 8 of silver.
8? I thought he said 30.
He said 8 something.
But
he had his subtitles on or whatever, and it said something about like 8 of silver.
Maybe pieces of 8 or something like that. Because essentially he's referring to where the silver comes from. So then you go back in time to this guy who owns all this land, that has all these people that live on the land that work for him, that there's some gypsies that have moved onto the land or somewhere in nearby.
The gypsies lived on the land, and then he bought the land, and then he wanted them to leave.
It was vice versa.
Yeah.
But of course, they didn't want to, and the guys come and just completely massacre everybody.
Burn the whole city.
They put one of the guys up inside of a scarecrow as a kind of a warning, I guess, and kind of an effigy to what they've done, and just leave him there. And then they bury the main matriarch that they kind of infer might be witchy or maybe has some sort of,
otherworldly
gypsy powers.
Right.
They bury her alive, and then they find the teeth that we were talking about. And they
bury it with her.
They bury him with her, yeah. And she essentially is kind of muttering some stuff as she's going in, which kind of makes me think that there's some sort of a curse that's put on the land and all the people that live there, which then is what moves the story forward to where these kids find the teeth and things just go to hell from there.
Yeah, they don't just put this guy up on a scarecrow thing. Like they chop his freaking hands off and his feet off, and they show you like what when they're doing it. So like I said, it's pretty graphic.
Yeah.
They do a lot of good pretty
special
gross
effects.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is practical, which I wasn't sure, but then there's like a 4.5 minute making of at the end, and they show even the rigs that they use for the creatures that are in the film.
Yeah. The beginning when they start off, it's like World War I time frame. Did you say that?
No, I just said it was wartime. I didn't
Yeah, it was
specify when.
for sure World War One. It was like 1917 or something like that. And like they were using like mustard gas or whatever, and like so the thing
That's
that he
nasty.
drew was like a representation. That even just seeing the soldiers in that like creepy
Right from the
masks
get-go.
like was just super creepy. And I think they were like the French army or something. It sounded like they were speaking French.
Yeah, I
maybe.
think so.
And yeah, they all had like these goggles on and like
Imagine like a sleep
COVID
mask,
looking
kind
masks,
of.
you know, like yeah, like what, like a what?
Kind of like a sleep mask with
Yes,
eye hole, like it looked like goggles, but like had a sleep mask kind of shape to it.
almost like an aviator like helmet
And
thing.
then
with,
yeah,
like,
they had a top to it
yeah, and then just like a white cloth over like
that
you
they
know
pulled up, so it created
like a gator,
like essentially
not gator.
created like a full face mask, but it wasn't very effective.
No, and like so you know they show like these shots going up in the air, and it's just these poofs, and then like it just rains down on them. So it was just very ominous, and that's when it was like that crazy like
The music
score of
and-
like you know it was really effective.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they did a great job, I feel like, with the set, you know, the sets and stuff, and like making sure that it was.
And even the guy that was the Scarecrow, that I mean, he had a couple of moments in dream sequences that were more than just him up on the post, but even just him standing up on the post was just really creepy in and of itself, which, you know, scarecrows get used a lot as being kind of creepy things, but they did a good job of keeping that.
They
know.
didn't really like. So, you know, the beginning, they're like 1917, and then they were like, you know, now it's, you know, flashback to whenever, and they didn't really say like what time frame it was. I don't remember seeing like the
They didn't.
years, blah blah blah. So like
They
you
just
don't
said-
know how much time really has passed between the gypsies getting murdered and like, you know, the land and stuff, and then those people like now live on that land. Because but you can see that obviously time has passed, because like all of the grass has grown up, all of the like, you know, crazy like houses are gone, and the scarecrow is just, you know, it rotted basically. So you know, some time has passed, but you don't really know like how much time has passed. So I wish they would have like
Been
I
a little
don't know.
more clear.
a little more clear with stuff like that, because like, you know, when you're jumping around, it's seems like, okay, did that just happen and now these people are on the land, or you know, but they
And-
did a okay job just like showing the fact that like, you know, grass has grown and it's not like dirt pile anymore.
And the only way you can really judge how long it is when they get to the war portion is that the character that is the focus of that is one of the other characters that is in the past, and you can tell that they've aged up like
Mhm.
10 to 15 years, maybe more, but I'm sure they were in their 20s in that later part. So, you know, it's not like it's, you know, decades and millennia. It's probably,
I feel like he was like in his like
he might have been 30,
40s.
but
He
he had a
looked like he was
mustache.
in
But
his 40s. He looked like he was in his
It's-
40s at least. He was a general or something,
it was between 20 and 50 years, we'll say. Maybe.
at least, because he was
Maybe.
a little kid.
Yeah, he was young, but we don't want to give too much away because I don't think we want
Yeah.
to give away the ending. But
No.
so are we going to give away what the antagonist is? I suppose that's kind of in the.
Yeah, so you know, the gypsy put a curse on these teeth and said, you know, something in whatever language she was speaking, and basically, like the one of the girls in the house that you know they now live on that land kind of came across the scarecrow, and she's had like either like visions or
All the kids.
flashbacks or something, and they knew that there was something buried there, so they kind of dug it up, and then
All the kids were having visions of the scarecrow and the teeth being buried.
yeah,
Like every one of them pulled up the teeth at some point.
yep,
But then a group of kids go, and the one kid's like, "Hey, you bury it. Let's unbury it and let's take it out." And they're like, "No, I'm not doing that." They're like, "If it's even real," and he's like, "I'll do it," and he does it.
and then he puts the teeth in.
He's overwhelmed by the urge to put the teeth in, like he's been taken over, and immediately bites one of the other kids, and then that sets off this whole
Chain
train of events
reaction.
that apparently when the pathologist shows up, he's there because of the cholera outbreak, and he also is trying to track gypsies, and you don't know why, But then it turns out that there's been a similar thing that's happened in his home where his wife and child were killed by a similar creature. And so he's trying to track it down to stop it from happening again.
Which is interesting to me because I'm like, okay, does that mean that the same band of gypsies were going around and she put a curse and like that kind of thing? Like, how many gypsy troops have like this like set of teeth, you know, and is it only the teeth that's causing it, or is it like this curse that's like,
well, because they're very specific about where the teeth came from and why they are cursed.
yeah,
We'll leave that part out because if you watch the movie, which I think we're both going to recommend you watch,
agreed.
it's something that's kind of a fun thing. It's not something we haven't seen before, but this is the first time I've seen it in this way. But essentially, when they get bit, they get turned into a variation on a werewolf. It's not really a werewolf per se, but it is it's Sean Ellis's
Werewolf
version
I liked it.
of a werewolf.
Yeah.
And the life cycle of it is a little vague, but also horrifying and interesting. Like it's a very unique. The whole thing is very unique while still feeling very same.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
And it's gory and you know the right parts and you know like cringe, you know, kind of some of the stuff.
And one of the things that I read about after the fact, 'cause I was doing some follow-up research on this, was that they were comparing this with kind of Sean Ellis's take on the Hammer horror, which if you've ever seen a Hammer horror film, which they were not known for horror specifically, but that's what they're known for now. The most recent thing that I can compare it to is A Woman in Black, which I've already recommended, so that's not my recommendation, but in tone and kind of atmosphere and lighting and everything, it's very similar. They would go hand in hand with each other. But it's a slow burn, you know, it's a creature film. There's, you know, it's a period piece. It feels like a Hammer film. So if that is something you enjoy, then that right there alone is telling you should watch it. So I'm going to leave some of my notes out here because they directly kind of give away some things we don't want to give away.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So do you want to wrap it up and do your final thoughts?
Yeah, I think so. I feel like we didn't talk enough, but I feel like we told a lot already. So
yeah. Do you want me to go first this time?
Sure.
I said it's an interesting take on the Wolfman / revenge trope, slow at times, but well acted, and overall I enjoyed it.
And my final thoughts were way above average and a new twist on an old theme.
So out of 5 silver bullets, what would you give it?
I ended up at a 3.5
Yeah, I gave it a 3.
because I felt like there wasn't a lot to complain about with this movie.
No, just the slowness.
Which I like that. So for me, that's a plus. I like when things take their time to get to the conclusion. It was almost 2 hours, but it felt like it was justified. So
I did not fall asleep.
she didn't fall asleep, and we had a bit of a thing that kind of paused the film for about half an hour, but that's another story. But we had to go on a rescue mission. Anyway.
For a spider.
So obviously we're both recommending that you watch this, track it down, check it out, and if any of this sounds interesting to you, I think you'll like it.
Yeah. So if they don't want to watch this movie, what do you recommend?
So like I said, I already recommended The Woman in Black, and I'm not going to recommend the sequel, even though I enjoyed it, because that would be too similar. So I went with 1999's Sleepy Hollow.
Oh, that's a good, that's a good, definitely. War.
You have a guy that's there because of something else.
Theme.
Sort of.
You know, like switching back and forth between time frames. You know, the Hessian and like, you know, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
And you've got a forensic, a guy who's new in the forensic science that's trying to prove that this is a valid way. And this guy was kind of a forensic pathologist in a way.
I didn't understand what that was. Somebody had to explain, or they asked him to explain what is a pathologist.
Yeah. And so I felt like, you know, plus they're dealing with supernatural forces. It's a little bit more not funny, but it feels a little lighter than this did. This feels very like, there's no comedy in this. But not that Sleepy Hollow's played for laughs. And this one's definitely bloodier and boobier, but.
Yeah. There's no like love story in this one either.
True. I kept thinking there would be, but there wasn't.
The only thing that like, you know, there was like love, like between was like a mother and her son kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's not the same kind of thing.
No. All right. Well, that was good. Those are I like your choice. So what are we watching next week?
So there's nothing behind me. There's nothing up my sleeves because I'm not wearing sleeves. So this is the first week in October that this is going to be airing, and we decided for the Halloween season, since there's 5 Wednesdays in Halloween, we're taking the first one as a whoops, we messed up, and the rest of the 4 we're doing a I don't know, the horrors of Halloween.
This would be a good. I mean, it's not Halloween themed and Halloween related, but this would be a good movie to watch on Halloween or like around Halloween.
I used to watch Sleepy Hollow every year on
Oh
Halloween.
yeah,
for a long time.
exactly.
So
It's adjacent.
Laura doesn't know what the 4 movies I've they're all on Tubi. They're all under $5 because we don't pay for Tubi, it's free. They are all things we haven't seen before, and they are all horror films that take place on Halloween or are themed around Halloween. Most of them take place on Halloween. So the first one we're watching is 2024's Haunt season, which I don't know if you want to. Or do you want me to pull up the?
Yeah. Can you?
This is where things get a little wonky because
we don't have a box. Let's say aspiring actress Matilda, desperate for a role, accepts a job as a scalped woman in a Halloween haunt attraction. As she delves into the haunt entertainment world, a masked maniac begins targeting the cast, replicating their staged injuries in gruesome reality. On Halloween night, the killer unleashes a wave of violence on visitors, bringing the ancient sacrificial origins of All Hallows Eve into the present. Matilda and her newfound friends must band together to survive the night.
So I didn't listen to the trailers, but I watched little snippets of the trailer just to make sure A, that it took place on Halloween, and B, that it looked like something that fell into our guidelines. And so
yeah,
these are all personally curated and then randomized. After I chose the 4, I randomized which ones were going to be shown when, and this ended up being number 1. So.
I'm very excited, and happy Halloween season. I should say, happy October, happy Samhain. I mean, it's not quite Samhain yet, but happy fall. Autumn equinox was this week, so it's our favorite time of the year. Hopefully it's yours too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much for watching, and until next week,
keep it cheap and creepy.
Bye.
Doesn't mean you should go chasing the dead.
It may be your robot, but it's my house.
I want to get a close look at these sharks.
Sounds dangerous.
Well, be careful.
Hi, we're here with ghosts asking, ghosts? What's the weirdest part about being a ghost?
It's weird how at any time of any day, you can always watch someone pee.
It's actually pretty weird how quickly every dead person becomes a pervert.